Hey everybody, it's Katie. I am 28 weeks pregnant today, so by every count I'm now in the third trimester. In general, I feel really good about where we are and I feel really ready to be in the third try, but I did have a moment this morning when I first opened my eyes of just being like, okay, this is it. There is just so much uncertainty in life. You know, when we were trying to conceive this baby, you never really know if it's ever going to happen. We did have a loss. And then, you know, just sort of the nerves in the beginning of this pregnancy and stuff, just really never knowing, you know, how things will work out. I feel so good to be at this point and so thankful. I celebrated reaching this point by having a little bit of luck this morning. I got this maternity top at Target for just under $6. It was on like 75% off clearance. I don't make a lot of impulse purchases, but for this whole pregnancy, I've only bought one skirt and two other tops, and I really feel like I'm sick of all my clothes. I don't feel that great about myself, sort of just in my what my clothing options are. So I was really happy to just stumble upon this one today. So happy third trimester to me. I've had a few sort of minor symptoms this week that are new. I've had more Braxton Hicks contractions, like a couple a day, and up until this point in the whole pregnancy, I've only had two that I remember feeling. I've also had some sciatica from the hip joint issues that I have, but it's been worse than it has been previously. And I'm also noticing that I'm getting full a lot faster. So I, eat less, but I just get that full feeling really fast. Even if, I feel like I still haven't even had like normal portions. So I'm breaking up my meals already a little bit more. I was trying to think back, and I don't really feel like I've had really strong cravings through this pregnancy. With Alice, I really craved citrus fruits the whole time. That's what stands out in my memory. I think this time around it's really just been like general kind of comfort food. I have been liking dairy more than I usually do. I've been loving eggs and just fresh fruit and things like whole wheat toast with jam on it, or just butter or lemon curd or something like that. Those are all just sort of like general things that I have liked my whole life. Of course, that could just be my forgetfulness, which is something I've really noticed in the past week. All the like blood and stuff is like being more shunted off of my brain to other parts, and I have just been noticing more and more. Even though I make lists and I keep a calendar and all those things, I've been a lot more forgetful this week. Just things slipping my mind and forgetting what day it is, and just not being as sharp at work as I'm used to being. Mike and I have been talking a lot this week of just what we need to do personally to sort of feel ready for this next phase of life, and kind of how we can help each other kind of work through this third trimester, and just feel like we're in a really good place when the baby arrives. Biggest anxiety is definitely about money. We do have like an emergency fund and stuff. It's just that I've always been pretty good about budgeting and stick to a pretty tight budget anyway, but I feel like we've just kind of taken it to the next level, and that's a little bit stressful, just to have a little, less wiggle room. And looking at in the next, several months, like that I won't be working, or I won't be working as much, so I won't be bringing in the little bit of money that I'm able to make at my job, and that's just, that is going to change things. I know that we'll be able to work it out, and we'll find a way. We always do. But like I said, it's just a little bit of stress in the back of our minds. I picked up a book at the library this week that I'm pretty excited about. It's called The Essential Homebirth Guide. It was published just this year, so the information is all really current. There's just a lot of kind of like fast facts, and just kind of covers all the plans in general. So I've been loving like diving into this, little by little, not really diving in. I guess just reading like a couple pages at a time as I have time. I've also gone back and been reviewing this book that I had from my first pregnancy. It's the Hypnobirthing book. It doesn't have the CDs or the sort of the script stuff that I think if you take the class, or you can buy like a bigger kit. This is just a book. I got it at a used bookstore years ago. But what I like it for are some of the visualization exercises, and that was something that I prepared with and I tried to use in my labor with Alice. This time around, I want to use them a little bit more, and I want to work on some ways of kind of like triggering myself to remember some of these things sort of in the moment that I need them, because I remember with Alice being like really like sort of deep inside myself, and I really could have used some of these images, but I just didn't have, I wasn't connected enough to like the people around me to ask somebody to remind me of those things or something, you know, like I just didn't have the consciousness at the moment to do that. So I've got a few ideas about that I will probably show you as time goes on, but the biggest one is that I want to have like words and phrases and images and stuff like that placed around my house, you know, towards the end of the pregnancy when I could go into labor, so that they'll be ready and you know, just I guess to help me like I said, like kind of trigger memories of these things that I've been practicing with. So I'd like to, you know, tape a picture of us at the beach up on the mirror in the bathroom, so that when I pass by there, if I'm in the bathroom, I'll see that and hopefully be able to use the exercise where like I'm on the beach, you know, relaxed. So we'll see how that all pans out, but that's my idea at this point. I'm also reading, this is from the library, the Childbirth Without Fear, which is the book from the late 50s that hypnobirthing is sort of based on. Like the, you know, the author read this book first and kind of changed her whole philosophy about birth and then developed that program. So just, it's a little bit drier, but I'm trying to go back and just get a little bit of those fundamentals, you know, straight from the source. We lent our friends a lot of our sort of pregnancy and labor prep books that we will probably be getting back here pretty soon. The Ina May Guide to Childbirth is probably my favorite. We also used a lot The Birth Partner, which was primarily for Mike, but I actually got a lot out of reading it myself too. So like I said, we should be reviewing those books in the next few weeks as well. If I can carve out some time this week, I'd like to make a third trimester to-do list / goals video. I did that for my second trimester, and it did help me, you know, get some of the things accomplished that I wanted to accomplish. I don't think I'll probably do like a wrap-up video because I just don't have enough time for videos right now. But I'd really like to lay out the third trimester stuff. I've been keeping lists, and I'd like to just get a little bit of feedback and, you know, maybe if there are things, suggestions that you guys have of things that you did in your third trimester that maybe I haven't thought of, or, you know, things I could do differently. Hopefully I can get to that. I'll see if I can do a belly shot here in the backyard in a minute, but the best thing about this week is that we had a film festival in town, which is kind of a fun thing, sort of a tradition for our family, something Mike is super into. They screen a bunch of different movies at the big fancy, you know, old restored theater downtown. Mike has actually been volunteering at the festival to get free tickets and just get a chance to see more of the movies. It's not real easy to go to the movies with a toddler, but I did take Alice last week for sort of old Looney Tunes shorts that they had for free, just in the afternoon on a weekday. That was kind of a nice special thing. Mike and I also went on a date, which pretty much anytime we go on a date, because it's so rare, that becomes automatically the best thing of the week, just trumps everything else. So for the first time in Alice's life of 25 months at this point, we actually hired a babysitter. We got a friend's niece who's in high school, you know, to come over and watch Alice. Alice did awesome. She was totally cool with, you know, with me leaving, and she was happy when we came home, and everything went great. Mike and I just went out for this special movie, and we, you know, stopped for an iced tea, and it was just really nice. It was only a couple of hours, but a few hours spent just as a couple really can make a difference. All right, here is what I look like at the beginning of the third trimester. Officially, I don't think I have a waist anymore. Alright, that's it. Thanks for joining me for this final lap.